that I'm at an all-time
Gentlemen, welcome to the accounting services of Nozar deal in Coley tonight, man. We're trying to figure this mess out, man. What's going on, boys?
How's it going?
How's it going?
Man, I don't know about you, man. Week 9 is just, I mean, it's for all the marbles for some of these teams, man. It's just incredible how all season long comes down to this, man. There's so many different outcomes and options and you know who's going to be in, who's going to be out. I mean, this is it, man. It's in a lot of these teams. Josh, it's in your team's hands. You know, Coley, you're sitting there, man, chilling, relaxing. You know, your team already did all the work this year, and us, we're going to Michigan, man, and we have no clue what's going to happen, man. It's crazy.
There's a lot at stake this week.
Yeah, there he is. Mr. Todd Patrick's with us, man. What's going on, Mr. Patrick?
What's up, y'all? How you guys doing?
Speaking of another team that's on the verge, man, this is another one. I mean, like all four of us has got something invested in this, man, going on this weekend. A lot going on. So, I don't know, man. What you guys' thoughts about the season? Let's talk about the season as a whole for right now, man. It's coming down to week 9, man. We're getting ready to end the regular season. A lot of miles, a lot of fish, a lot of drama. You know what I mean? But what's y'all's thoughts on the season?
I think what struck me is the parity compared to last year. Some undefeated, or I guess we had one undefeated team and some that were close, and don't this year.
You're right. There was such a difference between the top tier teams and then the bottom tier teams. You're right. There's a lot of people in the middle here, man. You're exactly right. Todd, what's your thoughts this year, man?
The quality of anglers in the league has shot through the roof, in my opinion. I mean, last year you started out your big names were the Derek Brundles and Matthew Konitz and Ken Woods, you know, and they came back this year. And then you had a couple out of the South, you know, some notoriety like Conrad Benetti and guys like that. And then you had names like, you know, Brian Howell and, you know, guys that were on the Bandits and Jeff Ishams and those guys. And now this year, there's so many in my, you know, national known names that I couldn't even name them all off the top of my head. And then the local hammers on top of that are like, guys, wait till you see this Jake Inglis guy, or wait until you see, you know, this guy or that guy that nobody had heard of, and make a name for themselves in this league. It's been really cool to watch.
Definitely. Josh, what's your thoughts, man?
Man, I totally agree with Todd on that. I mean, overall, the number of sticks that are in this league and the people showing up has been incredible. But one thing I really want to put on the table here is the road victories. The number
Yeah.
of teams coming out and scoring road victories has been insane. And I don't know if there's such a thing as home field advantage. What you're seeing from a lot of these anglers is that we travel well. We're used to traveling. We're used to competing on the national stage. We're used to competing on events. And so you've seen us prepare for bodies of water and come out to fisheries we've never been to before and perform.
Correct.
And I think you're going to continue to see that.
Yeah, I mean, Lance, I think last time we pulled the numbers, I think it was 48% win rate for the road team. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah. Very close to 50.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're exactly right, man. Well, guys, let's get down to it, man. Let's go ahead and show what's current as the playoff picture is now. The car wreck that is the KFL playoff, and then man, what can happen? And I'm sure all these teams are just wondering. And guys, I'm going to rely on you guys. These are my auditors, man. These are the guys that look at everything from start to finish. And I appreciate all the work that these gentlemen have done to help out this league. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and these men here have really kept things square and make sure it's all tidied up. And I appreciate everything that they've done with the league. So I just want to say thank you guys publicly, what you guys have done for us. So, all right, man. This is it, guys. This is the playoff picture as it stands, and let's just get right to it, man. Granite State and Coosa locks. That's it. They locked it up. Number one, Granite State and Coosa are locked in number one. It's going through New Hampshire, the North, and it's going through Coosa. And Neely Henry out of the South. Good luck to everybody. Also, you know what I mean? But by the way, congratulations to both those teams. Hell of a year, man. Lance, can we talk about your team, man, real quick? Coosa?
Sure.
Yeah, man. Talk about it. Let's I mean, look, you guys, some of you guys were on Alabama Hammers last year. You formed this team. And you guys have a very unique team, you know, a lot of different strengths, and you guys came together. I mean, a lot of big names, but man, sometimes big names just can't come together. But this team has been very, very, very good, both on the road and at home, man. That last victory down in Florida was huge.
Yeah, this team gelled so well. We work as a team really well. We talk a lot. It's just been a kind of a perfect storm, and it's really worked in our favor.
Yeah, no doubt, man. As I said, it's one thing to, you know, be. I think that's what happened to us last year. We were a lot of individual anglers. We didn't really work together as a team. We didn't communicate. But it sounds like you guys have really put it together this year, man. I mean, locking that number one seed up, man. It's going to be tough to beat y'all, no doubt, man. So, and then Jordan Marshall winning Chickamauga this weekend, that certainly does help. But you got to get there first, bro. You know what I mean?
We're trying not to look too far. We're kind of looking that far.
I hear you.
We're looking our chops. So
yeah, no doubt.
Well,
the Granite State Sticks, man. Jake Angelis, Matt Lee, they get the job done this year, man. You're talking about a good team too. This team was put together very, very well. They only had one road loss, but that was at Massachusetts. But other than that, man, they sailed. They dominated it, and you know, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how teams are going to be able to handle Winnipesaukee come the fall time and see if those fish are still fired up. And man, I tell you what, my hat's off to this team. Came together well. A lot of people picked them in the beginning of the year, man, and they showed out. And a lot of great anglers there on that team. So congratulations to them. But everything else, guys, is a train wreck. I'll be honest with you. Everything else, it could change, flip-flop, everything. So let's start out of the North. Todd, let's talk about it, man. You've got Indianapolis Knights, man, that they head up the Northwest Division. They're only ahead by 5 points, man, over Motor City. And they get the number 2 seed right now, but they've got to maintain. They're playing Arkansas Hogs this week. They're down in southwestern Indiana, and anything can happen, man. The 2 and 4 seed can flip-flop here, man.
Yeah, and before we get there, Granite State, hell of a job because Winnipesaukee is great home field advantage, as is for the South, Neely Henry for Coosa. Everybody in the playoffs from here on out has their work cut out for them. It's not going to be an easy task, and it's going to be really fun. But to get to your point, yeah, Indianapolis and Motor City have an opportunity to flip flop two 2, and the other will go to the 4 seed, right? Because the divisional winner would actually get the 3 seed, and that would probably that's going to be between Pennsylvania and New York, depending on what
Correct.
happens this weekend. So,
Exactly.
yeah, Indianapolis Motor City, they've got an even head-to-head. Indianapolis head-to-head points against aren't going to actually end up mattering here because we go for the point differential of the whole squad. So you got 5.75 points towards Indiana for the good in the point diff here. So Motor City is hosting y'all, Washington Warhawks, on Lake St. Clair, which is at this time of the year, man. You got to find them first. They're tricky. They're not there abundantly like they are in May and June. You've got to go out and you've got to find them. They're not going to be where you think they're going to be. You're going to be searching for them. So it's not going to be an easy task, but these guys have home field advantage on Lake St. Clair. Jeremy Baker lives on the lake. Eric Polins always shows out. Matt Lensman does well there. Zach Solaire. I mean, whoever they decide to throw out there, it's going to be a tough match for you guys, but they need a win big here because the reason I say big, they're behind 5.75, but Indianapolis, in my opinion, is going against kind of like a B squad for Arkansas this week, and the lake that they're on, they could put up like 180 inches plus. It's a donkey factory down there in West Indiana. And Indianapolis is doing all they can to lock up that number 2 seed. And this is huge, guys. To be opposite of Granite State and to hope someone else can knock them off before you got to go up there potentially.
Yeah.
You carry the number 2 seed and that number 1 knocks off. Then all of a sudden home field advantage goes through you. So Motor City and Indianapolis are doing everything they can to get that 2nd seed because they want someone to go in there and knock off Granite State so they can have the North Road go through either Manitou or whatever Michigan ambassadors choose.
Correct. I mean, Indianapolis has been around since the start of KFL. They're the only team that is undefeated at home, and have never lost at home. So, I mean, they're keeping their home streak alive. And again, it's important for them to hold on to that number 2 this weekend, man. So, like you said, so Motor City, you're right, plays the Warhawks. They've got 5 points to make up. They're tied. I mean, they're tied in overall. They're tied in divisional. They're also, tied head to head, and it all comes down to points.
Greg,
and that's
why
how
don't you?
they're going to flip out.
Why don't we go ahead and let everybody know, since we've got a lot watching, go over that. What do you mean by they're tied head to head for those that look at the record and say that's not what they see?
Yeah. So what they do is what we do is we take the overall, right? And Josh, you could help us explain this too. Let me pull up the standings.
Yeah, this is huge for everybody that needs to hear this. That
Yep.
The people that the owners and stuff know this, but
Yep. So we were talking because of the limited divisional games that were allowed here. So if we go pull up the Indianapolis Knights, right? The Indianapolis Knights have a 5-2 record with a 5-2 record. A 4-2 and 3-1. That's a 2-game difference is a tie. We consider that as a divisional tie. So that's what you see. That is a flat out tie. They also split the season. So Knights, Ambassadors, they split the season. That is another tiebreaker. So the only difference that they have is this 110 to 104 point differential. That's what they're trying to overcome, is this point differential right here. So that's it. Indianapolis has to win, Motor City has to win, and Motor City has to win by more than, the point differential against the Indianapolis Knights. Then they take the division. If not, the Knights will take the division, and they'll become the 2 seed, and then the Ambassadors stay at the 4 seed. And then if not, they flip flop, man. So it's going to be crazy. That's what we mean. Oh, there goes Josh. But yeah, that's what we mean by that. So, but yeah, that's it. It literally comes down to this last game, and they both have to win, and not only they have to win, but they have to win by more than 5 points, or 5 point spread.
Yeah, 5-7-5.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Now, Greg, have we thought about what happens if they both win and the point spread equals? What happens?
I think the NFL just does a coin flip. I think that's what happens. Honestly,
Cheers to the quarter, my friends.
I think it's a valid conversation to have, to be honest with you. And I don't know what it is, and I haven't seen it, but to me, it should be the biggest victory.
That could be, or between each team.
Yep.
And that would be Indianapolis by a couple of inches.
Yeah, that would be
in their head to head.
Yeah,
that would be Indianapolis.
Yeah, that would make sense. Is who beat who by more points? Yeah,
I agree with that. But
yeah,
cool.
For sure. But interesting conversation. So again, that is. I mean, all eyes are on those two teams. I think come this Saturday for sure. So
I mean, and both of those matchups are playoff team, like 4 playoff teams that are all but locks, except Washington. It gets funky for you guys.
Yeah.
To consider yourselves a lock, you're not a lock yet.
Yeah. So Nick says it's a coin flip in the NFL. Is all tiebreakers are even. Nick says that. Yeah. So, but anyway, it'll be an interesting discussion. Can you imagine if it comes down to that, though? I mean, that would be just fitting for this season. You know what I mean? That would be fitting for sure. All right, number 3 guys in the North right now. It's Pennsylvania, man. They're sitting there, right there at number 3, and right now they play the number 6 seed, which is New York Empire. But that could be easily flipped. Pennsylvania needs to win, man.
It's not going to stay that way. It can't.
No, it's not going to stay that way for sure. Yeah, for sure. It's guaranteed not to stay that way.
Yeah,
but
one of those teams, I think, don't make. Well, I think one of those teams don't make the playoffs.
Well, I think it could be possibly both if they lose. So that's going to be it can't be both. It can't be both because one of them has to win in the division. So. The division winner is going to get the 3 seed out of these two.
What about the Delaware Doom? Are they playing the divisional?
They are not. They're playing Norfolk.
So no matter what, Delaware Doom are out of the playoffs.
Delaware's out. Yeah, exactly. Delaware's out. It's going to be either Pennsylvania and New York out of there. New York plays Connecticut. Pennsylvania plays the Maulers. And so it's kind of a winning in for both teams.
Talk about a fun matchup that one is.
Yeah, no doubt.
I've played some scenarios, and I think the 3 you have at the bottom there are that can get in.
Yeah, the 3. We'll talk about these 3 on the bottom for sure, but they could easily replace New York, Pennsylvania, and the Maulers. So for sure. But that's going to be, as I said, right now, it's Pennsylvania versus New York out of the wild card there. But again, that will absolutely change for sure. Be interesting if both.
Now, as far as them moving up, that's not possible. So either Indianapolis or Motor City has the 2 seed, no matter what happens.
Correct.
No matter what, Indianapolis or Motor City have the 4 seed, so that's a lock as well.
Correct.
So what you're looking for is you have 2 spots for about 7 teams.
Yep. Exactly.
Agreed.
Exactly. Yep. All right. We already talked about Motor City. The Maulers, man. There they are. They are in the playoffs as the 5 seed guys. And again, they're winning in. I mean, they're winning in pretty much. They will go 5-3 on the season, and they need to win. If not, they're going to go 4-4. They got to battle it out. They have to have a lot of things happen to go their way to get in, because those 3 teams on the bottom right there have a say in what's happening. Let's talk about it, man. Rhode Island, awesome season for them. They can also go 5-3, I believe. Let's see here.
Yes.
Yeah, they can go 5-3 with a 125 point spread. They'll have that over just about everybody, but their divisional record would be at best 3-3 because they do play Bay State this week, so they'll have a 3-3 divisional with a 5-3 win-loss record. So they're going to need some help.
We'll basically put it this way to the New York Empire: if you lose, unless God gives you the miracle of all miracles, which I still don't even think is possible, you're out of the playoffs because your point differential is deadly. And at 3-3,
and the Rebels have a head-to-head against New York.
Right, and the Rebels would have a better divisional there. So Rebels are just looking for a New York loss here. and then
And a
a
win.
win for them, and they're in.
Exactly. Tennessee, man. Tennessee, your team. Talk about it, Todd. Have you crunched it?
Okay, let me see if I can do this off the top of my head. For us to get in, we need to win. Maulers need to lose. New York needs to lose. Rhode Island needs to lose. We got to cover the 35-point differential between Maulers and us. Make it up. And then Bay State is sitting there. If they win, they wouldn't catch us in point diff. So Bay State is like on major life support to get in, because because I just told you our scenario, Bay State's is equally as crazy.
It is.
So,
they need a lot to happen for themselves.
You know, for us to get in, well, we didn't capitalize this year. We were lackadaisical on Nick and Jack and just kind of threw things together like, oh, we're going to do good here, and we got our butts handed to us, and things happen, and we learn, and we move on to next year, and we got to take home field more serious, and hopefully teams across the league recognize how serious home field advantage is, and you got to do it like Coosa, and you got to do it like New Hampshire. I mean, these guys do it right, and they're the model teams for the league this year. So that's the scenario for the Tennessee Shiners to get in. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then, like you said, even more for Bay State there. But I mean, look, anything can happen, guys. I mean, look, like week 7 and week 8 were absolutely crazy. It changed the entire playoff picture. Teams were in and out, and again, same thing can happen week 9. But we think that these are the teams that are vying for week 9. After week 9, these are the teams available to make the playoffs.
I mean, right now, Rhode Island, Tennessee, and Bay State are all Connecticut fans.
Yes. Big time Connecticut fans.
And New York, basically, you win and you're going to snag no worse than a 6 seed.
Correct. That's right. Exactly.
Pennsylvania, same thing. You guys, I think Pennsylvania would get the tiebreaker.
Yeah, and then Rhode Island needs Pennsylvania to win as well. So interesting. So a lot of fun going on around that. All right. Lance, Josh, man, it's the South. Look who is sitting there at number 2. That is Arkansas Hawks. Now that could change, guys. That could change as well. They are sitting at a record. I mean, look here. They are sitting at a record of
5-2.
5-2 with a 4-2 divisional. Now, here's what's interesting. If they go 5-3, okay, the Washington Warhawks could steal that number 2 spot.
Because they're divisional.
If Arkansas Hogs go 5-3 and the Washington Warhawks win, they have a 4-2 record. Warhawks have a 3-1 divisional. That's a tie. There is no head-to-head, but the Arkansas Hogs have a 10-point difference in point differential. So the Warhawks would need to make up 10 points plus for them to take the 2 spot. So it could happen.
Yeah, and then that's not just Washington's got to win. That's just the point differential. So, if Arkansas takes the loss by 5, and then the Warhawks win by 5 1/4, then you're tied. You guys win by 5 1/2. You guys get the 2 seed.
That's it, exactly. So those spots can flip flop. So Washington just needs to win. They are at number 3. They do lead the Piedmont region, but we have a tough task ahead of us going to Michigan and playing that one. But look who is sitting there at number 6.
Natural State.
Natural State Eagles, as of right now, are in the playoffs. They would travel to Washington, and then that winner would go back to Arkansas. So that's the way that would work out. But I think after that, the Warhawks will be tired of seeing Arkansas anglers. You know what I mean? But Natural State, man, they're undefeated since they've came into the league there, and they are in the playoffs as they speak. They're 4-3 with a 4-3 divisional. They are minus 30 in the point differential. So yeah, I mean, look, if they win 5-3 with a 4-3 divisional, man, that makes them a strong contender ahead of the Punishers and Copperheads, as well as the Warhawks. So, and the Reapers too. So I mean, look, they're sitting
lock in with a win.
I believe they can.
I'm pretty sure Natural State is locked in with a win.
I think they lock in at least the 6th seed.
Yep,
Who?
I would agree with that.
Who?
Natural
Eagles.
State. Yeah.
Natural State's a winning in.
Yes.
Yeah. Correct. Exactly. So they're winning in, and so they'll lock in. If they lose, they could be bounced out. They're going to be in that whole 4-4 muck of mud.
That's right.
Yeah, and same with the Warhawks. The Warhawks to lose, they're going to be 4-4, 3-1 divisional. Now, here's an interesting one: is the Virginia Reapers, guys. Virginia Reapers, if they win 5-3, they'll be 5-2 in the division. They'll take the Piedmont. They automatically become a 3 seed, right?
Yes.
They could, depending on depending on what the Arkansas Hogs do. If the Hogs get blown out and the Reapers make up that score, they could be number 2 seed. They have a chance to be the number 2 seed. If they win,
a chance to miss the playoffs or a chance to be the 2 seed.
Yeah,
Talk about parity.
Exactly. So they could jump up literally from the 5 seed to 2 seed and take Arkansas's place, and then Arkansas would be either a 3 or 5. So yeah,
that's why if I'm Arkansas and I'm watching this show, I want the bye week 1. My guys want to go fish Dardanelle.
Yep.
Get the bye and then come home and take care of business. I'm not making fun of the squad by any means, but guys, here's something else about Arkansas. They've not put up a limit in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a team that's skating by the skin of their teeth to get in the, kind of just floating it in on the playoffs.
Correct.
I mean, hey, you earned it. You deserve it because of what you did throughout the year. But I wouldn't be sending in the squad that I'm sending to Indiana this week if I had a say and I'm on that team. If I'm Corey Hopper or Garrett Morgan or Cody Milton or whatever, I'm showing up to Southern Indiana. It's for one, it's going to be a donkey fest, and for two, the win, it could solidify you as the number 2 seed, and I want to lock that down because I don't want to drop down any farther than I am and have to go to Coosa. I don't want to do that at all.
Correct.
So,
yep,
that's just
correct.
my opinion.
I think the other thing I want to add to that, though, is that you need to keep in mind that being in the 1 or 2 seed, you're only one spot from a paycheck.
That's it.
You're one win
away from a paycheck.
Paycheck.
That's it. And that's why, I mean, you deserve it. I mean, you deserve those buys. That's exactly right. All right, man. Josh, I'm going to let you talk about your Slayers, man. Give us a little bit of some idea what could happen here, both win and lose.
So first things first, I think we will make the playoffs regardless of win or loss.
Wow.
I think that if we lose because of our point differential and our current division record, we're going to keep most teams behind us.
Gotcha.
We may fall all the way to the 6th seed in the process, but I think that even if we lose this week, I think that we're in the playoffs.
With a 4-2, yes, I agree with that. 4-2 divisional. Correct.
Now, we have one thing against us this weekend. Matt Vogt is sick.
Oh, no.
And so Matt Vogt does not look like he's going to be traveling with us to Louisiana, so we are going to be fielding a 3-man roster.
Oh, man.
Wow. It will be an uphill battle, but myself, Dwayne, and Brandon are going to go rock it out. I definitely kept this week open to make sure that we could hold and host a playoff game, and we're going to bring the business to Louisiana. But, I mean, as far as we go, a win, we stay put. A loss, I think we fall as far as the 6th seed, depending on how bad the shakeup is. But I think we get in on points and tiebreakers, so I don't think that's an issue there.
Right on.
I think the biggest threat in the South, and I want to give mad props to them because momentum's a big deal, even in fishing, is the Palmetto Punishers. I think you need to watch out for them. They're fishing extremely well right now. They're in a win in their end situation. The only thing that's going against them is hosting Coosa. And I'm not sure, I haven't seen who Coosa is pushing lineup-wise to that match, but that's the only thing standing in Palmetto's way. And I don't know where Coosa stands on the deal, but this is one of those teams, if you wanted to keep somebody out of the playoffs, Palmetto Punishers are a threat.
And Lance, let's talk about that, buddy.
I heard Jordan Marshall has to work this weekend.
Uh-oh. Lance, talk about what's going on, man. Who you guys sending up there?
We got Nick, Joe, Coley, and hopefully Jordan.
Nick Dyer, Coley McGowan, Jordan Marshall, and Joe McElroy, right?
Yep.
Yep, gotcha.
Solid
Yeah,
squad.
solid lineup, man. Solid lineup for sure. Yeah, that's going to be fun, man. It's going to be. I think that's going to be the game of the week, y'all. It's going to be Palmetto.
Oh,
Can
for
Palmetto
sure.
win at home at Santee Cooper and jump into the playoffs? That could happen for sure.
And
Yeah.
so that's another thing to put on the table. It's Santee Cooper. That place is loaded with big fish. It is summertime, so there's going to mix some things up a little bit. But man, that's those guys that are coming from Coosa. They know Santee Cooper. It's not like they haven't fished it before, whether it's through
Right.
WBOS or through another event series. I mean, it's not unfamiliar waters for them, so it's going to be a heck of a match.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt.
I
Well, listen.
think the X factor for that game is probably going to be Jason Broats has to show up and show out for Palmetto to get that dub.
Correct. Now, here's another team that is on life support but not quite dead. The Florida Copperheads plays the Deep South Kraken. That's on the St. Johns River. They're going to go 4-4 in the division, and they have a very healthy point spread. They do have the head-to-head over Palmetto. Okay, so if Palmetto loses, okay, they go 4-4. Copperheads jump Palmetto because they have the head-to-head against them. Correct. So now they would have to look at the Natural State Eagles to lose, and that is going to be the issue because, again, it's a 4-4 with a 4-3 differential there. But they could sneak in still at the 6 because they could also take out Washington Warhawks if we lose. So Florida's there. Florida is there. So, yeah.
With a lot of help.
With some help, they sure can. But they've got to be rooting against Palmetto for sure. They do have the head-to-head at least against that on that matchup. And man, the Oklahoma Outlaws, we put them in there. Mathematically, they're not out of it. They need a whole bunch to happen for them to make it. But I mean, losses by just about everybody on the board. But they could make it in. But anyway, it's going to be interesting, guys, for sure. But that's how it shakes out, man. These guys on the bottom could either be a 5 or 6 seed when it's all said and done. But there's just wild swings that can happen. Virginia Reapers, Washington Warhawks, they could be a 2 seed or they could be out of the playoffs with 1 loss. It's just crazy,
See Corey Dryer's question.
How are the wild cards chosen? It's overall, divisional, head-to-heads, and point spread. The only problem is Virginia Reapers and Warhawks have the wins over Carolina. That's the problem. So, those losses head-to-heads hurt.
The casters in, and there was the head that was keeping them out.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So that's it. That's it. So, but anyway, that's how we see it, guys. I mean, as I said, this is a spaghetti. This is a bowl of spaghetti right here, man. Anything can happen here. I mean, it's other than the 1 seeds are locked. The playoff picture after week 9 is just going to be absolutely crazy.
Hey, there's one answer: win and get it done, and you'll be fine.
Just win, baby.
Can I ask you guys a question other than the teams that are locked in the North and the South? And give me one team each who you guys think is the most dangerous team that could get in the playoffs.
Who I do not want to see in the playoffs is the Maulers.
I have the Maulers too for the North.
Yeah, that's an easy choice for me on the North as well. The Maulers. No offense to any of their teams, I just think that they have the best squad to bring to the table and travel. And to be honest with you, depending on how that first round plays out, depends on where they go next, right?
Yep, exactly. The other team that I'll be honest with you, I don't want to face in the playoffs is right there, Josh's team, man. Other than Coosa Kingfishers, I would not want to face the Southern Slayers. No, thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in the South, I don't want the Slayers, and I wouldn't want the Punishers. Either team.
Way they're fishing right now. Yep.
Yeah, we have a really good squad that we can bring to the table for a playoff run, and we fish really well when we fish together. From a schedule perspective, if you look where our bumps are at, it's just where we haven't been able to align our team to the right players to the right field. But we have a good mix, and we have some guys that can just drop big fish.
Yep.
So,
Lance, what about you, man? You didn't get to give us your input.
I'm looking at the South, but as far as the ones I wouldn't want to see is I agree with you guys. the Punishers, they gave us the best run at home. And I got a ton of respect for the Slayers. So those two teams right there are the ones I'm looking at.
Yeah. Good call, guys. Well, guys, that's going to be it for the playoff show, man. I mean, it's again week 9, man. Just like Josh said, just win, man. Just win, and it all takes care of itself, right? The goal is to win, man. And don't have to worry about any other team doing this and that. Just go ahead and win, and wherever the chips may fall, they may fall. But it's going to be fun, and the fall fishing's getting ready to get started. That's what I can't wait, man. This is my favorite time of the year to fish, guys. The fall is my favorite time to fish by far.
Tennessee River's on fire already.
Yeah,
I'd say that depends on the part of the country you're in. I saw water temps for Louisiana, and they're still 88.
Yeah, we just need one good cold front or two, and we'll be good to go, man. As I said, this is gonna be fun. I love the crisp in the air, man. The big bass start biting. Look what happened at Chickamauga, man. Freaking Ewing Minor throw up 25 to the board. Jordan Marshall throwing up beasts. I mean, it's just gonna be fun, man. That's what we have to look for.
Hey, Lance, how does Neely Henry fish in the fall?
Pretty well. That's my favorite time of year.
There you go.
Nice.
Exactly.
Before we break, if you guys got me.
Yeah. Oh, he just went.
Hey, I got to pick up my son from football practice.
Yeah, man, you do your thing, man. You do your thing. All right, go ahead, Josh.
We got you, Josh.
Hey, no, before we bounce, I got one question for y'all. And that is, it's way too early. It's a way too early projection. But if you were to project the championship matchup right now, who are you going with?
It's hard not to go with Granite State right now and Coosa. I mean, I know that's chalk, but where they're fishing, how they fished all year, it would be very difficult not to pick those two.
And with them having home field advantage locked in, I'd have to agree with you. The downside, I think, for Granite State is if they make it to Chickamauga and play on Chickamauga, I have to tip my hat to Coosa. I feel like it's Coosa's to run away with. So, not that I want to, look, there's a lot of hill climbing to be done for each of those teams, but having home field advantage for both of them is going to go a long ways.
Let me put an asterisk there. If Pennsylvania happens to make any way they can to get to Winnie, they would be dumb to put Pennsylvania, Nick Audi, Ryan Matalevich on Winnie.
Yep.
There's no way Granite State puts them on Winnie. I guarantee you that happens. After what I saw this weekend with Nick and what Ryan did, I would pick Pennsylvania in that matchup.
Hey, we've had that same conversation on the Slayer side of the house. If we do if we're fortunate enough to host Virginia here, we won't be bringing them to my body of water.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. Me and my team were talking today. And as we've choked our season away over the last 3 weeks, we feel that if we can get the Winnipesaukee, that we can give them a team that they wouldn't be too fond of seeing come there.
You could. It could very well happen. It would be a great debate to see if those guys would challenge those guys on the water on Winnie. I don't know, man.
Well, so the thing about Winnie is that Winnie can show out for the away team really well.
Yeah.
And Neely Henry can be extremely stingy. It's a big body of water, a lot of backwaters, a lot of areas you can get tucked away in. It's just it's a very different fishery. And then, it comes down to what are you targeting? You're talking spots or largemouth. So
that's true. Yeah. I mean, as I said, those two played all year long, and they were both undefeated on those bodies of water. It's going to be very difficult. But again, the playoffs are a different story, man. Anything can happen. Usually, the angling goes up, the caliber of players goes to a different level. I mean, you know how it is. It's just playoffs, man. And
That's
so
right.
we'll see what happens, man. Anything can happen. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see. But I mean, right now, I'm penciling in Granite State and Coosa, and it would be one hell of a matchup with Chickamauga to see what happens there.
Yeah, Josh, I would have to say the same. If I could mix it up at all, it would be I'd see the Maulers to make a repeat. But don't mark out Pennsylvania, dude, because if they can get a couple games,
Oh, there he goes.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Oh, good.
They're dropping like flies, man. But Josh, yeah, that's it, man. And like you said, it's gonna be fun. Again, I'm leaving tomorrow, man. 4 a.m. heading out and going to Michigan. We got to do our thing, man. Like you said, we just got to win.
Yep,
You're
gotta
figuring out a
win.
way to do it, man. So
Looking forward to seeing what the bracket looks like after this weekend. It's going to be crazy.
yeah, it is absolutely going to be crazy. Myself, Todd, Josh, and Lance are going to be getting together after these wins and losses and put the final bracket together and figure out who's going where, man. That's going to be a lot of fun to try to figure out. So, well, guys, that's it, man. Todd, Josh, thank you guys for joining us. Everybody, have a great time this weekend, man. Stay
Take it
safe.
easy, safe travels, and good luck to y'all.
All right, take care.
Good luck.